Hello everyone. So this is a tech talk for Nagios, which is a monitoring tool and which monitors your entire IT infrastructure to ensure systems, applications, services, and business processes are functioning properly. Just like any other monitoring tool, Nagios has the feature that once any failure or any alert occurs, it will send you an email, or you can even set up message sending capabilities or stuff. And when the error is resolved, then again it would alert you. So how Nagios works is that you set up a central monitoring server and you point it to different remote hosts who you want to monitor, and it just uses a bunch of configuration files where you can define stuff and you will be able to monitor hosts. So since setting up Nagios takes up a lot of time, so we haven't actually been showing this, we won't be showing this up in the screencast, but let's just see how the different kind of files are in Nagios. So in the server, these are the kind of files you would see. So this is the config file where you define your host. This host is the remote host, and you would define its address, and then again you would define all the services which are going to be run on it. And similarly, there would be a commands.config file. Here you define the commands which would be run for the host, and you can see there are various commands, and how they are interpreted is that when Nagios tries to monitor something internally with scripts and everything, it fires these commands to the remote host, fetches the results, and displays it. Uh, this is the contacts config. Here you can give a bunch of contacts, like who you want to send the email address to when an alert occurs. You will have various options like this, that when do you want to send an alert on a warning, on a critical failure or stuff like that, and the duration. These are lot of options, lot of configuration files. You can edit each one of them to see how Nagios works. So if we go to the console of Nagios for now, so this is the Nagios remote host that we are working on right now. It is monitoring this. So what I did was that I set up the total processes threshold to be a very low value. We'll see what value exactly it is. So when we go here and we see, so in this command I have said that check underscore local underscore processes. If it is greater than 20, then you send a warning, and if it is greater than 400, you send a critical warning. So we have done this, and since you'll see that since it has gone to a warning stage, so currently it's just 3 out of 4 attempts. So as soon as it reaches like 4 out of 4 attempts, it would send an email. So you can see that we have received emails for the total processes. So the total processes are 43, as you can see, and what our threshold was 20. And similarly, there is an HTTP failure warning which says that it can't connect to the HTTP. Connection to address and port is refused. So yeah, so now we'll go back to the server and try to change back the value to something normal and see if we get a response, if the problem gets resolved. So we set it back to the default value, and we have to do a restart as well. This is every time you do a config change, you have to do a restart. So if you go back to console, now we'll have to wait for it to go back and monitor it. So you can see we got a recovery email since the service got resumed to normal state, and we got a recovery email. This is very convenient. The setting up is simple. You just have to follow tutorials and you'll be good to go. The only problem is the documentation of Nagios is pretty old, which is on the official site, and you have to follow external links for that. Another thing, the UI is not very good. As you can see, it's quite old looking. So basically what it runs is it runs on Apache server on behind, and it uses PHP, I guess, for all this rendering. So yeah, so this is Nagios. What you can see here, this is, it also detects flapping. So earlier I was, switching between the users from 0 to 1, 1 to 0, and I had my threshold as 0, and it detected the flapping of thresholds. So yeah, so this is Nagios for you. And what else? You can just see every detail is present on the readme page. It's setup instructions, it's very clearly mentioned how it is done, everything. So yeah, this was for the tech talk. um, Thank you so much.